Hello, thanks for tuning in to the first episode of Chipped. I'm your host, Chip Hall. Quick intro: stand-up comedian, yoga teacher, and former weather forecaster for the United States Air Force. If you know another person that's also all those things, I'd sure as hell love to meet him. Welcome to the show. Cue the intro. What's that? I didn't make one yet. I knew I forgot something. I'll work on that. Moving on. This pilot episode is an introduction to what this show is and how it came to be. I've thought about and even planned out a YouTube show many times, years before starting stand-up. But the idea for this show came to me recently after a particularly awkward first date. I hate first dates, mainly because I suck at them. It's all that getting to know you BS. Most girls say the same thing. Where are you from? I was born here, grew up there, went to school there, now I'm here. Not me. Born downtown Chicago, grew up all over the Midwest, 3 elementary schools, 2 junior highs, and 2 high schools across 4 different states. What's that? No, I wasn't a military brat. But that is foreshadowing. My dad was just your average, boring, corporate type, attempting to climb the ladder and failing repeatedly. What's that? Change the subject? Good idea. Yes, I went to college at Purdue University to study computer science, but that wasn't compatible with my social life, so I switched to communications and still had too much fun. So after my sophomore year, I enlisted in the Air Force, basic training in San Antonio, followed by 6 months in Biloxi, Mississippi. First winter of my life that I never saw a snowflake. Again, foreshadowing. There, I was trained and educated for one of the most valued careers in the Air Force: weather forecaster. I promise I'm not making this up. I was an honor graduate. Turns out I'm damn good at it too. So at this point, it's 2002 and the global war on terror is just ramping up in the Middle East. Where does the Air Force station such a gifted young forecaster? Alaska. Anchorage, fucking Alaska. Then I gotta explain Alaska and 24 hours of sunshine and darkness, a millionth fucking time. Being an amazing Arctic climate specialist essentially rendered me useless during the Desert War. So no, I didn't see any combat. The only other place further from combat was Antarctica. Eventually, Air Force realized that, and I was honorably discharged. So I got out, moved to Indianapolis, finished college, made friends, learned piano, had some jobs, few failed relationships, but didn't really do anything productive for 9 years. Then a girl broke my heart, and a few days later, I got fired. I moved back in with my parents, and then, in what up to that point was my darkest moment, even darker than December in Alaska, found the light. A light in the attic, no less. The comedy attic in Bloomington, Indiana. A couple months later, performed stand-up for the first time and immediately got hooked. I really didn't want to keep living with my parents, so I came to NYC to visit my brother. Began as a 2-month experiment, kept going for 4 years. Then there's yoga and seizures, but at this point, I've been talking for 5 to 10 minutes without any input from the girl. You maybe forgot I was talking about a first date, so then I'll ask them, what's your story? Well, I studied this, now I do that. Back to the recent first date. This was with a Russian Pilates instructor that had just arrived in the US. Though she spoke English well, she didn't understand the language or culture enough to appreciate our comedy. Or maybe Russians just don't have a sense of humor. Anyway, she said to me, you do too many things. You're all over. You need to do one thing. If you were to choose yoga or comedy, what would you do? Before she'd even finished, I was saying comedy. Absolute. In a heartbeat. And I knew right away from the look on her face, that was not the right answer for her. But I don't want to give anything up. I am who I am because of all these different things that I've done. And I want to do more of all of it. Comedy, yoga, even the weather, and music, which I didn't even get into. Just nerd out, get weird, be myself. That's what this is. A broke show for a damaged world. I'm producing the show myself with almost no budget and very old equipment. Even though every how to start a YouTube channel video says don't do a variety, focus on one thing. My idea is that I'm the host of the show, but I'm also all the correspondent. Goal is to be doing a show every day, and each day cover a different topic. That's biting off a lot more than I can chew right now. So the show will start out simple. Once a week, every Wednesday, first few, mash everything together like a bad news show. Wednesday, also a good day for a workout video. So the first segment will be a yoga clip of me, narrated by me. The first month cover sun salutations, a few different types, but after I get the hang of production, I'll do more detailed videos for specific poses with alignment cues and everything. I'd also love to find a way to include some kind of kids yoga segment, something like Mr. Rogers crossed with Ram Dass. That idea is still in a primordial ooze form. Requires some time to cook and evolve. Then a weather segment focusing on where the most interesting weather is happening around the world. Forecast for the weekend here in NYC. Although not really sure how to make weather graphics for video yet, so the first few of these will be brief, but I'll learn a lot from them. Finally, comedy news type segment that is kind of my passion project, though it's hard to explain. I don't watch the news. I only watch late night comedy shows. Daily Show, Colbert, Sam B, Hassan Minaj, John Oliver, Bill Maher, Jim Jeffries, Conan, Kimmel, Fallon, Seth Meyers, Weekend Update, Jesus and Miro. Did I forget any? Do my best to tune in as much as possible, especially any Daily Show alums. So instead of reporting on the news the way most YouTubers do, I'll report on comedians that make the news palatable for me. Similar to Talk Soup or The Soup, but maybe more of a comedy stew, not a clip show, because I don't expect to have the ability or the rights to use clips from any of my sources. Initially, I'll just be repeating my favorite jokes or expressing who did the best, joking about what topic, maybe mash up all the best into some kind of hybrid monologue of my own. Long term, not really sure what this will become. Maybe I'll write my own jokes or hire a friend to write them for me. And if there's any news from the comedy world that might be interesting to people outside of the business, I'll share my feelings on that as well. Once things are rocking and rolling, there'll be sketches, songs, more. Just gonna throw everything I am at a wall and see what sticks. As soon as possible, the show will move to twice a week. First month, I'm doing the whole thing solo. Afterward, I'll start branching out, doing collaborations, comedians and YouTubers as guests, workout videos with other yoga teachers and fitness instructors from NYC, crossover videos with comedians that are into fitness and health, sketches with other comics, YouTubers, maybe a yogi or two, who knows. Also planning to record covers, my favorite song, playing and learning the harmonium. Just not sure where or when they'll fit into the show. Honestly, I'm not quite sure what this show is yet, or what it will be, but I am excited to see what happens, to let it grow organically. So this is me putting it out there, planting the seed. The first full episode will be next Wednesday, July 17th. So with that in mind, please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell to get notification, click the thumbs up to give some love, and leave a comment, give some feedback down below. Let me know what you want to see. And since I'm already imploring, follow me on Instagram @KarmaComedian and @iYogiNYC. Facebook pages for this show and iYogiNYC. Links to those are in the description. If watching my videos suddenly inspired you to give me money, fear not. There's a GoFundMe and Patreon launching simultaneously with this video. Links to those are in the description as well. I think that's everything. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Chip Hall. Someday we'll be back with a word from our sponsors. Stay tuned.